Welcome back to Panda Audiobooks. Jian Wushuang has made a powerful, violent introduction to the name of new domain, and now it's time to secure his footing. In our last episode, Wushuang crushed the arrogant local elite, immediately establishing his dominance. But dominance is meaningless without resources. Today, Wushuang seeks the source of power. Chapters 81 through 85 follow Wushuang as he targets a major institution, a powerful sect or academy in this grand domain, to access higher-level resources and training. To enter, he must face their notoriously difficult entry trials, which test his comprehensive combat, spiritual power, and strategic mind. Success in these trials will not only grant him admission but will also unveil a new clue, perhaps a startling connection between this powerful domain and the mystery surrounding his father's fate. The door to true power opens through trial. Chapter 81 begins now. Chapter 81, Mission Assigned. Ranked the 100th on the Earthly Dragon list, Fire Fairy was a solo powerhouse who had achieved the peak of fulfillment realm of Jindan. She is eccentric and has many enemies. She also excels at marksmanship and has a comprehension of raging fire. A half-year ago, by herself, she killed 5 opponents who had achieved the exceptional gold core realm at Sunset Ridge over the body of a spiritual beast. 2 months ago, she beat Mount, the former 100th expert on the list, and replaced him. The 99th on the list is Luo Ao. Jian Wushuang carefully read the introductions and combat abilities of every expert. The person who was 94th on the list was surprisingly the tyrant Su Lai. Su Lai. Jian Wushuang said with surprise. Yang Zixuan, Wang Yuan, and Su Ru beside him came closer. Su Lai, a bad-tempered disciple of Dragon Palace, was known for his aggression and excellence at exceptional gold core realm, raging fire, and brutal fist position. He once fought against 13 gold core warriors, among which 8 achieved the exceptional gold core realm and killed 11 of them, including 7 of the 8. 2 survived, and he only had a minor injury. What Jian Wushuang saw really shocked him. Su Lai by himself could unexpectedly kill 11 of the 13 primordial gold core, with only 2 surviving and escaping. It was no wonder that there was a saying that any powerhouse on the list is able to beat a large group of people of exceptional gold core realm. Su Lai is really tough, said Yang Zixuan seriously. It made sense that Bai Cheng dare not fight him, said Wang Yuan. Jian Wushuang kept reading. The list revealed all the names of powerhouses and their achievements. Jian Wushuang soon read the top 5. The person who ranked the 5th was Barbarian King Qing Kang, a disciple of Dragon Palace, who achieved the peak of exceptional gold core realm. The 4th was Feng Yuqian, who belonged to Gladiator Arena, who achieved the peak of exceptional gold core realm. The 3rd was Mu Yingying, a member of the Mu clan, who achieved the peak of exceptional gold core realm. The 2nd was Bai Lycan, a disciple of Dragon Palace, who achieved the peak of exceptional gold core realm. The 1st was Shui Yun from Blood Feather Tower, who achieved the profound gold core realm. Shui Yun from Blood Feather Tower, said Jian Wushuang with cold eyes. How could Shui Yun rank first on the list by merely achieving the profound gold core realm? Yang Zixuan and other people wondered. Check his combat achievements. Jian Wushuang also saw his achievements. The list read, a year ago, Bai Lycan, the 2nd on the list, and Barbarian King Qing Kang, the 5th, joined hands to fight Shui Yun outside the Imperial Palace, and this only ended in a draw. The description of this was simple but shocked all of them, because the top 5 on the list could even contend against Yin Yang Void Realm, and yet the 2 of them against him could only end in a draw. Meanwhile, Shui Yun had merely achieved profound gold core realm. Adds by Pub Future, I now understand why Dragon Palace is reputed as the cultivation sanctuary, said Yang Zixuan suddenly. Exactly, nodded Jian Wushuang. 16 of 100 primordial gold core on Earthly Dragon list were disciples of Dragon Palace, and there were even 3 in the top 10. Jian Wushuang could not help but admire how outstanding Dragon Palace was. Among 100 people on the list, there were 16 of disciples of Dragon Palace, 9 from Gladiator Arena and 3 from Blood Feather Tower. Although there were 3 people from Blood Feather Tower on the list, this did not mean that these experts were inferior to those from Gladiator Arena. As the Tower was an assassin's organization, members in it seldom exposed their true abilities, and nobody knew if they were able to be placed on the list. Apart from the 3 hegemons, The 7 ancient clans of Qianzhong dynasty were home to various talents, and more than 10 of them were named on the list. There were also many solitary experts. Among 100 experts on the list were nearly 40 solitary experts. I have never seen any disciple of Dragon Palace named on the list with the exception of Su Lai, said Jian Wushuang. Me neither, said Wang Yuan. As those disciples left the palace long time ago, it is rare to meet them. The palace, however, held regular annual meetings, during which many strong disciples on or off the list would be back, said Su Ru. Really? Asked Jian Wushuang with a smile. Right about that time, whoosh, a person in a white robe appeared in the manor. Jian Wushuang and his companions hurried to stand up. Palace Master White. The 4 people gave a salute to him. Swordsman and Xianxia, an expert in the world, could only emerge from countless trials and tribulations. As we know this, we assign missions to our disciples at intervals to train them, said Palace Master White with his hands behind his back. You 2 have been here for 3 months and it is time to receive your first mission. Saying that, the master produced 2 beams of light with his hands. Jian Wushuang and Xianxia took them and saw 3 minor scrolls. As you 2 are at different stages, one in the spiritual sea realm and the other at primordial gold core, I have assigned you 2 different missions. But both of your missions have 3 stages which are already on your scrolls. You'd only see the next one after completing the former one, the master said. Without any hesitation, Jian Wushuang directly opened up the first scroll. My first objective is to become a 2-clawed golden dragon guard by finishing the guard mission. Perform it in the innumerable huge mountains. The reward for completion of the task was to get 2,000 points. Jian Wushuang's complexion immediately turned strange as soon as he saw the introduction of the task, as there were many 2-clawed golden dragon guard tasks, including those of any golden dragon subsidiary palace of Qianzhong dynasty, but the master appointed me to complete the mission in the innumerable huge mountains. After that, Jian Wushuang came to understand that his second and third assignments were likely to be finished in the mountains. Tasks are now assigned and you may set off as soon as possible. You can only return to the palace after completion of the assignments, said the master with a light smile and left. Chapter 82, Meeting with Yi Rufeng again. My brothers, what is your task? Wang Yuan immediately came close as soon as Palace Master White left. Damn it, 2-clawed golden dragon guard. Wang Yuan screamed after he saw Jian Wushuang's task. Dragon Palace is so cruel, they made you complete the task of a 2-clawed golden dragon guard when you are just a warrior of spiritual sea. Jian Wushuang smiled awkwardly. There had always been a huge risk in Golden Dragon Guard's mission. Normally, 1-clawed Golden Dragon Guard missions were completed by a warrior reaching the peak of exceptional spiritual sea realm, while 2-clawed Golden Dragon Guard missions would be finished by primordial gold core, the peak of initial gold core realm, or even the profound gold core realm. It was a joke that a spiritual sea realm was even sent to complete a 2-clawed Golden Dragon Guard mission. Jian Wushuang, however, was totally different from other ordinary warriors because he was a disciple of Dragon Palace. He showed how outstanding he was by beating Nangong Jie of profound gold core realm. It seems ridiculous to ask a warrior of level of spiritual sea to achieve that, but actually, it is not too difficult for me. The real arduous one, I thought, was at the second and the third stage because I don't even know what they are, said Jian Wushuang with a smile. He was more curious about the tasks at the last 2 stages. He had scrolls in his hands, but he did not open them in a hurry. Brother, your first stage mission was simple, said Jian Wushuang when he had a glance at the scroll in Yang Zishuan's hands. Yang Zishuan's first mission was to kill a warrior of profound gold core realm who could be killed easily by him, although the warrior was good. When do you plan to set off? Said Yang Zishuan. I am going to visit Secret Pavilion and then leave directly. What about you? Said Jian Wushuang. I will go now, answered Yang Zishuan. Good luck, said Jian Wushuang and left for Secret Pavilion immediately. With lots of points, he purchased as many elixir pills as possible. First-class Heavenly Spirit pill was worth 20 points, and he surprisingly spent 1,000 points buying 50. He had no alternative. Other people may reach the peak of exceptional spiritual sea realm from initial spiritual sea realm with the use of 10 pills. Jian Wushuang, however, was different, because he needed too much spiritual power to support his ultimate spiritual sea. It was questionable whether he would be able to reach stage 3 from stage 2 of ultimate spirit sea. What's more, he also spent 1,200 points buying pills for treatment. After his preparation, he set off. The innumerable huge mountains contained hundreds of mountains. The vast space and dangers in it were on another level compared to the dark forest. Moonheart City was located at the foot of great mountains. Whoosh! A huge figure dived sharply in the vast place outside the city. That was a big spiritual beast, griffin, with huge wings carrying a man on its back. Jian Wushuang directly jumped off its back and said thank you to Golden Armored Sergeant. Nodded with a smile, the sergeant left riding the griffin. Ads by Pub Future. As the city was very far away from Dragon Palace, it could take him over half a month. But now he just spent less than half a day by taking the beast. Of course, he paid 100 points for that. After entering the city, Jian Wushuang went straight to the crowded and noisy Golden Dragon subsidiary palace. When he came to the counter, an old man behind the counter asked, "Can I help you?" Jian Wushuang took out the pledge as a disciple of Dragon Palace, which surprised the man. The man immediately said, "Master, this way please." Saying that, the man led him to the cellar. There was a man there who seemed cold. By coincidence, he knew Jian Wushuang. "Your Excellency Yi," said Jian Wushuang with surprise. "Swordsman? I didn't expect that you were here," said the cold man with a smile when he saw Jian Wushuang. The man's name was Yi Rufeng, the Golden Dragon Ambassador, who had actually brought him to Dragon Palace. "His Excellency, you know each other," said the old man in confusion. "We can handle this, you can go," said Yi Rufeng. "Yes, Your Excellency." The elder immediately retreated. "Ha ha, nice to see you again, brother," said Yi Rufeng with a big laugh. "What a coincidence," Jian Wushuang said with a smile. "Come on and have a seat." After sitting on chairs in the cellar, Yi Rufeng asked, "Brother, you were supposed to cultivate in the palace. Why did you come here? Did you get mission?" As a Golden Dragon Ambassador of Golden Dragon Palace, Yi Rufeng knew about the Dragon Palace and understood that their disciples often received assignments from it. "I am on my mission as a two-clawed Golden Dragon Guard, and the destination was innumerable huge mountains." Jian Wushuang said, "What? You are here for a two-clawed Golden Dragon Guard mission?" Yi Rufeng asked in shock. "Yes, what's wrong?" asked Jian Wushuang with confusion, and he did not know why Yi Rufeng overreacted. "Ha ha, that's great. To tell you the truth, we actually were going to ask you to do us a favor," said Yi Rufeng with a joy. "What is that?" asked Jian Wushuang with a smile. He could enter the palace just because of Yi Rufeng's recommendation, and he owed him. So Jian Wushuang would not decline it if it was not to the death. "Follow me," said Yi Rufeng, and took him to another hidden cellar of the Golden Dragon subsidiary palace. There was a girl in purple practicing swordsmanship. Phew! 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 The sword shadow was actually not bad. "She is?" asked Jian Wushuang looking at the girl. Although the girl was young, she, with exquisite swordsmanship, reached level of primordial gold core. What most impressed people was that the girl unexpectedly comprehended the level of water drop essence, although she was not yet high in it. Chapter 83, Yi Mai. The purple-clothed lady quickly finished practicing her swordsmanship, finally placing her sword back into its sheath. "Maya, come here." Yi Rufeng lightly beckoned her. The purple-clothed lady immediately ran to Yi Rufeng and said, "Father! Father!" Jian Wushuang was shocked. "Brother Swordsman, this is my daughter, Yi Mai. Today she accepted a two-clawed Gold Dragon Guard mission in the Gold Dragon subsidiary palace," Yi Rufeng said. "Oh." Jian Wushuang smiled silently. He immediately understood what Yi Rufeng wanted to request from him. "Maya, this is Swordsman, a brother of mine. Since you insist on doing the mission, I asked Swordsman to accompany you. That way, he can take care of you on the way," Yi Rufeng said to Yi Mai. "Him?" Yi Mai looked at Jian Wushuang coldly, and said, "He is just a warrior in the spiritual sea realm. He has not even reached the primordial gold core realm. It's not him taking care of me, but me taking care of him," An expert of the gold core realm possessed a distinctive aura, so one glance was enough for Yimai to know that Jian Wushuang did not have a gold core. You don't understand. Brother Swordsman is a disciple of Dragon Palace, Yi Rufeng replied. A disciple of Dragon Palace. Yimai was a little bit shocked and gave Jian Wushuang another glance. But what followed was her sneering again before saying, "So what? Even if he has a lot of talent, he is still only in the spiritual sea realm. If he uses his full strength, he is only the equal of someone in the initial gold core realm. How is he qualified to take care of me?" No sooner than the words had been uttered by Yimai, she directly left the secret chamber, not even speaking one more word to Jian Wushuang and Yi Rufeng. She is. Yi Rufeng looked a little bit awkward, and then he quickly apologized. "Sorry, Brother Swordsman, my daughter was very impolite." "It's okay," Jian Wushuang shook his head and replied. He was not mad at all. Maya is such a stubborn and arrogant girl. "But, it's my fault," Yi Rufeng said, then lightly sighed. Her mother died when Maya was a child. Being her father and a golden dragon messenger, I spent most of my time dealing with public affairs. Because of that, I failed in taking care of her well. Over the years, she has taken care of herself on her own. I guess that helped create her current personality." "I see." Jian Wushuang nodded and then asked, "Ambassador Yi, your purpose in coming was just to help her with the mission?" "Yes." Yi Rufeng continued, "Maya is too arrogant. She is anxious to become a two-clawed gold dragon guard, but she only achieved the primordial gold core realm half a month ago. What's more, the location for the mission is the innumerable huge mountains, which is extremely dangerous on the inside. Considering she could have an accident, I tried to stop her, but she would not listen to me. However, at that time, you arrived." Yi Rufeng looked at Jian Wushuang and pleaded, "Brother Swordsman, since you are going to the innumerable huge mountains for the same mission, I want you to do me a favor and with Maya, to watch out for her on the way." "Okay, no problem." Jian Wushuang agreed without hesitation. "Ha ha, that is great. I am relieved that I can leave her to you," Yi Rufeng said with a smile. He knew Jian Wushuang's strength well. He could easily kill experts in the initial gold core realm even before he was a disciple of Dragon Palace. Now he had spent time in a holy place for cultivators like Dragon Palace for 3 months, so his strength should be much greater than before. The next day, outside Moon Heart City, the 8 people who accepted the two-clawed gold dragon guard mission had all arrived. Among them, only Jian Wushuang was in the spiritual sea realm. So naturally he stood out from the crowd. Why is there a warrior in the spiritual sea realm here? Who brought him here? Taking a two-clawed gold dragon guard mission with someone in the spiritual sea realm. Is this a joke? Several eyes that were as sharp as a blade glared at Jian Wushuang. A few of them even shouted at him. It was common knowledge that two-clawed gold dragon guard missions were extremely risky. Even if they were all in the primordial gold core realm, the mission would still be quite a challenge. Not to mention now, with someone in the spiritual sea realm dragging them down. "Hey boy, who allowed you to take this task? Get out of here!" A heavily built man with whiskers howled angrily. Jian Wushuang gave the man a glance and said, "Idiot. Why can't warriors in the spiritual sea realm accept a two-clawed gold dragon guard mission?" "Boy, what are you talking about?" the whiskered man shouted in rage. "All right, everybody shut up." A yell was heard, coming from a black-robed man. The black-robed man was the only two-clawed gold dragon guard among the 8 people who were present. He was also the initiator of this mission, while the remaining 7 were just one-clawed golden dragon guards. Among the 8 there were obvious disparities in strength. 2 had achieved the profound gold core realm, including the black-robed man. 1 was a warrior in the spiritual sea realm, which was Jian Wushuang. The other 6 were all in the initial gold core realm. "Boy, no matter how you got the two-clawed gold dragon guard mission, I have to inform you that it's not a mission that just anyone can easily accomplish. Also, opportunism will not work on this mission." The black-robed man stared at Jian Wushuang and rumbled. "In addition, this mission was initiated by me. So I can tell you guys clearly, although you 7 accepted the mission simultaneously, only 5 at most can accomplish the task. That is to say, 2 of you are doomed to fail this mission. And you will have to rely on your own strength to decide if you can be one of those 5 who accomplish the task. Hearing this, everybody present looked serious, except for Jian Wushuang. Did you hear that, boy? Only 5 can accomplish the task. You are only at the spiritual sea realm. Do you think you can accomplish the mission? How ridiculous! The heavily built man with whiskers shouted and sneered. It's not something you get to decide. Jian Wushuang replied, without even giving him a glance. What an arrogant boy. Just wait, you will have your chance to be arrogant once the mission begins, the whiskery man said coldly. If everybody is ready, then let's go. No sooner than the black-robed man uttered this, the 8 warriors left for the innumerable huge mountains. On the way, the purple-clothed lady, Yi Mai, walked up to Jian Wushuang. Didn't I tell you I don't need anyone to take care of me? Yi Mai whispered. I owe your father a favor. What's more, I am also taking this mission, so I just have to watch out for you at my convenience, Jian Wushuang replied. With only your strength. You should give priority to your own safety, since I don't want you to run to me once you are in danger, Yi Mai said, then sneered. Don't worry. If I was in danger, then you would have already died long before that, Jian Wushuang said. Hearing what Jian Wushuang said, Yi Mai half closed her eyes. Her dislike for Jian Wushuang grew stronger. I cannot believe that the legendary disciples in Dragon Palace are as arrogant as you. Having finished her words, Yi Mai quickened her pace and glided ahead of Jian Wushuang. Chapter 84. Innumerable Huge Mountains. Enormous forests and numerous spirit beasts were spread throughout the innumerable huge mountains. And apparently, these spiritual beasts were much stronger than those in the dark forest. Likewise, the innumerable huge mountains are much more dangerous than the dark forest. A sudden loud thump disturbed the tranquility of the forest. Pang! Following that, a human could be heard laughing before he said, "Ha ha, just a spiritual beast in the initial gold core realm. You were doomed the second you met me. Tai Shan, don't waste your time, let's keep going." A black-robed man, the leader, said in a low voice. "I'm coming," said Tai Shan, a strong man with a big mustache, laughing while holding a spirit beast core in his hand. Every spirit beast in the gold core realm has beast core that is very valuable. It had been 2 days since the 8 of them had entered the innumerable huge mountains, so they knew very little about each other. But they at least knew each other's names. The 2 men leading them were strongest, having reached the profound gold core realm. The black-robed man was known as Ba Yang. As for the other, he was called Tai Shan. He was a burly man with a big mustache, who liked to argue with Jian Wushuang. The 8 continued to move forward, deeper into the innumerable huge mountains. But a short while later, they suddenly halted on a treetop. What is it? They stood on the treetop and looked down. There were many dead bodies laying parallel to each other, spread out on the ground. Let's check the area, said Ba Yang. Following his words, everyone went down to the ground, carefully checking the bodies. Jian Wushuang also approached one of the dead bodies. This is a sword scar. Seeing the deadly scar on the neck of the dead body, Jian Wushuang became alert. Apparently, the scar was not caused by a spirit beast, but a sword. Thus, Jian Wushuang looked around and noticed that they all died the same way. Nothing but a sword scar was found on each one of them. They were killed in one move, without a chance to fight back. Whoever did this was much stronger than them, Jian Wushuang said with a dark expression. These people. Yin Minute also looked, while feeling overwhelmed. They were killed by a human hand, and probably all by the same one. Jian Wushuang said. Human. Yi Mai changed her look all of a sudden. They have not been dead for long, which means that the killers might still be in the area. Jian Wushuang checked the bloodstains on the dead bodies once again. It was obvious that they were killed just minutes ago because the bloodstains were not dry yet. Besides that, there were so many spirit beasts in innumerable huge mountains. If they had been dead for long, their bodies should have been eaten by those spirit beasts already. In which case they would no longer be completely intact. All of you need to be careful. Spirit beasts are not the most dangerous threat here. Other humans can be even more dangerous, Ba Yang said with a serious look. Everyone nodded. They all knew that human beings are more dangerous than spirit beasts, since this was not the first time that they had accepted a mission from the Golden Dragon Guard. Captain Ba Yang, you are being too paranoid. Look at the people who were killed. Only 4 of them reached the initial Gold Core realm, while the rest were merely in the spiritual sea realm. Now look at our group. We are much stronger than them, aren't we? They won't have the guts to mess with us, said Tai Shan, in a disapproving tone. Just be careful, anyway. Ba Yang said, let's keep going. Thus, the 8 continued their journey. Finally, half a day later, they arrived at the destination. In front of them was a thick mountain forest. All right, now I can tell you what the specific mission is. Ba Yang looked at the 7 people and said seriously, in the forest in front of us, there are 2 blue-eyed beasts with golden horns. I accidentally saw them while passing through here previously. The blue-eyed beast with golden horns has a coarse appearance. Both its skin and bones are excellent materials for making weapons, not to mention the golden horns. On top of that, its core is also quite valuable. Its whole body is a treasure. That's why I set up the mission at the Golden Dragon Palace. All you need to do is help me kill the 2 beasts. Everyone became alert. A blue-eyed beast with golden horns. How many gold horns do they have? Someone quickly asked. 4 blue-eyed beasts with golden horns. The more horns they have, the more powerful they are. One has 3 golden horns and the other has 2, so they are absolutely within our ability. As for the requirement for completing the mission, that would be obtaining a golden horn. However, there are only 5 golden horns altogether. After hearing that, all 7 of them had a strange look on their faces. The blue-eyed beast with 3 golden horns is the most powerful among spirit beasts in the profound gold core realm. Normal warriors in the profound gold core realm cannot match up to it at all. By comparison, the one with 2 horns is less powerful, but it could still fight on even terms with a human in the profound gold core realm. With their current group, it would be easy to deal with the 2 blue-eyed beasts with golden horns. There was only one problem. 7 people accepted the mission, but there were not enough horns for everyone to complete the mission. 7 people wanted to obtain the 5 golden horns, which meant 2 of them were doomed to fail this mission. As for who would finish and who fail, Ba Yang didn't say a word because everyone understood it would depend on how capable they were. Although the 2 clawed missions are not as cruel as the 1 clawed missions, it is still full of danger. 7 people and 5 golden horn. Eventually, there will be a deadly struggle to decide who succeeds. Jian Wushuang thought secretly. They are in the same forest, but the forest is big, and they don't always stay together. However, once one of them is in danger, the other will immediately come. So we have to split up. Ba Yang began to make the arrangements. Everyone, listen up. Tai Shan, Wang Chong, Lin Yu, and I will deal with the 3-horned beast. The rest of you. Ba Yang looked at the other 4 and said, you 4 are not as powerful, but you can still deal with the 2-horned beast. After you finish, you are free to decide who gets the horns. What do you say? Okay, not a problem, Tai Shan said and smiled. I agree. Wang Chong and Lin Yu also nodded. Tai Shan. Wang Chong and Lin Yu agreed without any hesitation, because they knew they can finish the mission by killing the blue-eyed beast with 3 golden horns and get 3 golden horns, and distribute them evenly. But the rest 4 of them didn't look well except Jian Wushuang, because they knew that only 2 golden horns would be gained after killing the blue-eyed beast with golden horns, which means that 2 of them are doomed to fail this mission. They are reluctant to do this, but they have to. After all, they are not powerful enough in terms of their cultivation of spiritual power. Since you all agreed, it's settled then, here we go. Baya said, and the 8 soon divided into 2 groups, moving toward the forest. Chapter 85. The Accident. The 4, including Jian Wushuang, hastily and quietly went ahead in the forest. Boom! A huge roar could be heard nearby with a bright sound of animals. They have launched their attack, proclaimed Yimai. We need to find the 2-horned beast quickly and begin our attack as well, the indigo-robed man said. You don't need to find it because it is running towards us, Jian Wushuang said immediately. The other three, including Yi Mai, had no time to figure out what was happening because the humongous two-horned rhino appeared in front of them while knocking down rows of trees. The blue-eyed rhino with 2 horns. They were shocked. Kill it. Without hesitation, all 4 of them began releasing their spiritual power, after which they launched their attacks. Among the 4 warriors, the indigo-robed man and the purple-haired middle-aged man quickly displayed their strength. With one using an axe while the other used a long spear, they launch a powerful attack toward the incoming blue-eyed rhino. Jian Wushuang also immediately launched an attack with his sword, releasing power equivalent to the initial gold core realm. Among them, Yi Mai seemed to be the strongest. Swish! As she attacked, a streak of sword shadow using water-drop sword essence slashed towards the blue-eyed rhino. Before landing on its body, the sword shadow split into 3 dazzling streaks of sword light. Impressive swordsmanship! The indigo-robed man exclaimed. Jian Wushuang frowned and shook his head. Her swordsmanship is good, but she is too naive and hasty. Jian Wushuang understood clearly. Killing the blue-eyed rhino was not a problem. The real issue was the fight over the 2 horns. However, since Yi Mai showed her strength already, the indigo-robed man and the purple-haired middle-aged man would be cautious around Yi Mai. Jian Wushuang noticed that the indigo-robed man seemed to be shocked by Yi Mai. In fact, both of them had a weird look in their eyes. Jian Wushuang immediately knew that as soon as the blue-eyed rhino was dead, both men would work together and launch a sneak attack on Yi Mai for the sake of acquiring the horns. Clang! 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 Although the attack landed on the blue-eyed rhino's body, only 3 white marks were left behind on its hard shell. The shell is too hard. Aim for the stomach, it should be softer and it's not protected by the shell. Jian Wushuang shouted. I do not need your advice. Yi Mai glanced at him before launching an attack towards the blue-eyed rhino's belly. Howl! As the blue-eyed rhino roared, it stomped on the ground with its hooves, causing the ground to tremble. Then it lowered its head, pointing the 2 horns at Yi Mai, and attacked. It charged straight towards Yi Mai with its golden horns. But, it was so big and awkward, Yi Mai easily moved around it and let it pass. Kill it quickly. It's trying to run away. The indigo-robed man was attacking as he exclaimed happily. Although the blue-eyed rhino had great defense, it was still just a beast. Jian Wushuang and the others worked together to attack it. In particular, Yi Mai aggressively attacked the beast's belly. As a result, the blue-eyed rhino had already reached its limit. It is going to die. Yi Mai had a delighted look on her face, but she still felt contempt towards Jian Wushuang. She had played the biggest part in killing this blue-eyed rhino. Of course, the other 3 did work together and assist her. But Jian Wushuang only helped to prevent the beast from escaping, so it wasn't odd that she felt contempt towards him. With this level of strength, you thought you could help me? Yi Mai thought. But at this moment, a violently rampaging spiritual power appeared as a 2-meter-tall figure jumped out of the forest. Not good. Another beast. It's a Herculean demonic monkey. Profound gold core realm. Yi Mai and the indigo-robed man were shocked when it appeared, causing their expressions to become slightly pale. Even a normal Herculean demonic monkey is powerful, let alone this one, which is in the profound gold core realm. The Herculean demonic monkey, in the profound gold core realm, was stronger than them since they were in the initial gold core realm. This is a catastrophe. Yi Mai's face turned pale. You 3 should finish killing the blue-eyed rhino. I will deal with the Herculean demonic monkey, Jian Wushuang said in a deep voice. You. When Yi Mai looked towards Jian Wushuang, he had already rushed towards the Herculean demonic monkey. A Herculean demonic monkey at the profound gold core realm. Jian Wushuang smiled, releasing a strong spiritual power that surpassed the spiritual sea realm. At the same time, a massive amount of earth sword essence began to fill the area. The 7th move of the formless sword wave. As he shouted, his triple-kill sword moved to attack the beast. Countless sword shadows gathered together to form an immensely heavy mountain, which began descending towards Herculean demonic monkey. Damn humans! The Herculean demonic monkey's eyes turned red as it launched an attack that seemed to be able to shatter heaven and earth. Yi Mai and the indigo-robed man were shocked when they saw this. That guy, does he want to die? With his strength, he shouldn't even be able to defend against a Herculean demonic monkey in the profound gold core realm. Yet, he dared to attack it head-on. He must want to die. Stupid. Yi Mai cursed him. Herculean demonic monkeys were known for their strength. Even if a warrior in the same realm was fighting with it, they would be careful and would avoid facing its strength head-on power. Let alone Jian Wushuang, who was only in the spiritual sea realm. He must be crazy. Yi Mai and the indigo-robed man thought Jian Wushuang had lost his mind. What happened next surprised all three of them. Boom! When they saw what happened, they were shocked by Jian Wushuang. The beast, which reached the profound gold core realm, flew out like a bullet, smashing into a tree that was more than 10 meters behind it. Boom! The tree, unable to withstand the impact from the Herculean demonic monkey, was smashed to pieces. And with that successful and dramatic completion of the final trial, we conclude Chapter 85. Wushuang has secured his entry into the Azure Heaven Domain's preeminent cultivation institution, earning the cautious respect of the elders and attracting the curious gaze of the domain's ultimate prodigies. Crucially, the trials have revealed a dangerous clue, a hidden connection that suggests the conspiracies of his homeland may stretch even into this new domain. He is safe for now, but the secrets he carries are magnetic. Join us next time for Chapters 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90, as Wushuang begins his training within the new sect, immediately challenging the established core disciples and uncovering the dark secrets hidden within the institution's walls. Thank you for listening to Panda Audiobooks. If you are ready for the next level of intrigue and battle, please subscribe and hit that notification bell.